Hello everyone, ciao a tutti, this is Papilla ASMR. Welcome to another ASMR baking video. And today I thought I'd try another recipe that I've never made before. It's a recipe by a butter baking blog. And they are Nutella stuffed cookies. This really struck me for being really simple and with very few ingredients. So I wondered, how it would work with just these ingredients. So a cup of Nutella, and this is room temperature. So we're also going to need, it says a jar of Nutella from the fridge for stuffing. Now, I'm not sure what she means by jar of Nutella, because this is 1,000 grams, so 1 kilo of Nutella, and I do have the same amount, so another jar like this in the fridge. So just going to do it by eye, I guess. Then we're going to need 1 cup of flour, plain flour, and 1 egg. So it says to preheat the oven to 180 degrees or 350 and line 2 trays with baking paper. And I don't think I've done either, to be honest with you. So I'll just have to go in and do that now. So I've now preheated the oven, and I have a baking tray with baking paper. I just remember I said 2, but we'll see how we go with this one. It's pretty large. So next it says, in a large bowl, mix together the Nutella and the egg, just like that. Then add the flour and stir until incorporated. The mixture will be quite thick, it says. Okay. So let's measure up the Nutella first. My favorite cookies are called crispy. They're Italian cookies. I've talked about them in several other videos. I miss them so much. I can only find them in Italy. I actually can find them here, but they're very expensive, so I never buy them. But they're very similar to this as a concept. They have a crusty shell, and they're filled with a chocolate, kind of like a loose chocolate cream, I'd say. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't have nuts in it. They have a different one with nuts. Well, they have one with coffee as well. And I think maybe one with lemon, but my favorite are just a normal, simple chocolate ones. And I can't really find a similar thing here. What do you think? Is this 1 cup? It's one generous cup. I'm eating a cough sweet cough candy, otherwise I'll be all over the spoon. So now I'm going to use the same spoon. So it is a little bit messy so far. It's just kind of unsurprising. I should have thought of that. I should not be surprised by that. But I mean, if these are good, it'll definitely be worth it because it's so simple. So anyway, I'm just kind of hoping that they would taste somewhat similar to a crispy. In a large bowl, mix together the Nutella and the egg. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to add the flour. I reckon this will be quite difficult to mix because it was already very kind of solid without the flour. So. But I can see now how these ingredients can be enough for cookies. After all, the Nutella already has lots of sugar. Maybe it's mainly sugar actually. So I think I'm going to switch to my hands now because it's getting that sort of consistency. It's actually quite soft, so just a bit difficult to mix with that spatula, but actually with my hands it's quite soft. And as you can see, it is starting to resemble cookie dough. So I have the refrigerated Nutella here, which by the way you should never do unless it's for a recipe like this. Nutella is to be kept outside of the fridge where it can be kind of smooth and nice. So it says to make a little, well, it says bowl, I think. Let's read it. Roll a small teaspoon of dough into a ball and flatten in your palm. Place on the lined baking tray. Put a teaspoon of cold Nutella in the center of the cookie. Then roll a second small teaspoon of dough into a ball and flatten in your palm. Place it over the Nutella and press the edges of the two cookies together, sealing them like ravioli. Okay. So I wonder if maybe I should do this one cookie at a time so that I know how much is left. I think this would be a good size. Let's see. And I guess the Nutella shouldn't be warm because it will melt probably too soon into the dough, maybe. Okay. Oh, this is a bomb, I think. Too big. Yeah, this is definitely too big. Well, it's done now. So small dough. Small ball like this. So flatten it. This. A little bit of Nutella. That's more of a normal size, I suppose. quite big though. I don't remember the pictures that she put. I'm quite worried now if I make different sizes that they will cook at different times. We'll see. I don't make cookies often, as you might have guessed. I just used to make like oat cookies. And I'm not a fan of them in general, I have to say. So I don't usually see it worth it. This sad if these are as I expect them to be. I will be making them all the time. They have very nice cookies here in a supermarket, which are with pistachio nuts, and they're just vanilla with pistachio, and they're really, really nice. I don't know why I prefer them to cookie with like chocolate chip cookies. The truth is that in general I'm not a sweet tooth, what you would call a sweet tooth. I much rather prefer like salty snacks and salty recipes. I absolutely adore popcorn, for instance. It is like one of my favorite things, and so I much rather have like a small bag of popcorn, which now they sell like in fast foods as well here, like instead of crisps or potato chips. And so much rather have one of those than some sort of a pudding. I also go through phases, I think, with my with sweet things. If I have a craving for ice cream, for instance, or gelato, I should say, really, I could I could have that for like quite a long time, I'd say weeks, and only crave that as something sweet. And one day get fed up with it and I change. But I always try to honor my cravings, because I know that if I don't do that, I'll just end up overeating or eating on other things. So I much rather have what I'm actually craving for, if it makes sense. So these are all completely different sizes. I really hope they'll cook uniformly, but it's starting to seem less and less likely. Okay, let's see. I mean, they do look like cookies, so that's good. I should probably put them more apart, though. I think they will expand and mix with each other, so. And that's probably why she wrote 2 trays. So I'm gonna try and spread them out now that I'm done with this. Let's see. Okay, I'll go get another tray. So I have spread them out more into 2 trays. And it says to bake for 6 to 8 minutes. And she writes, I always err on the side of under baking for a chewer cookie. So I definitely made them too big. So probably 8 minutes, I think. Here they are. In the end, it took me about 15 minutes to bake them. Maybe a bit less, maybe like 12, 13 minutes, something like that. And that's just because they're really, really big. I think the one from the original recipe were kind of half the size. So obviously check with your oven and with your how much big you're making them, how big you're making them. I have here a nice cup of coffee as well, so I'm just gonna try these and hopefully promising. Wow, very nice. They're nothing like crispy, but they're very nice. And the reason why is because the 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 whole cookie is quite chewy, as a cookie should be, I guess. And also, it's obviously a Nutella bomb, so that's really the predominant flavor. It obviously goes very well with coffee. I love it that they're a bit crunchy on the edges too. I'll definitely be making these more often because they're super simple, as you saw. And the fact that you only need Nutella, flour, and one egg in the house, it's really amazing. I think, when you're fancying something sweet, I know I do. When I do, I almost never have the ingredients in the house, so I would film so many more videos if I did. So do let me know which type of cookie is your favorite, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Buon appetito e a presto!